What's up, everybody? We got these markets still pumping. We got to talk about some really great charts here set up. Got some giveaways that we're doing, so make sure you stay tuned in. And we got some TA we're going to be breaking down. Hope everybody's doing well. If you are here early, drop something in the live chat right now. Let's see who is here pre-stream. We're going to be getting going here in just a minute because these markets are, man, they're feeling good, but we got to make sure we stay in control of our portfolio. I'm ready to ride this. Are you guys ready to ride it? I think it's time to get this going. Let's skip this countdown forward. I'm ready to jump into these charts. So let's do it right now. How you doing? Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. How you doing? How you feeling? These markets are still giving us the gift of the green. That's what we're seeing right now, the gift of the green. In fact, we are pushing right up against all-time highs. Yes, you heard it right here. Most people aren't showing you this data, and that is right here. This is the Bitcoin chart adjusted for inflation. This is what happened. Look at this valuation in US dollars dropping. Why? Because we had all that money printing, and we can see we've never even broken the previous all-time high back here at 19,000 something dollars when we got up here in 2017, 2018. We need to be aware of that. This is that move from 3,500 to 14,000. This was essentially the resistance point based on inflation of, look at this double top we had on both of these levels. And essentially we're pushing right up against it. But what does that mean for Bitcoin right now? What does it mean about what's going on with the market? If you have not yet, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell, because we got to jump in with a bunch of content about what the heck is going on in these markets right now. In fact, let's just go ahead and zoom out and look at this chart. We are absolutely, and we forget this because we look at 1 hour charts, 4 hour charts, even daily charts, and we say, man, we have these large bullish bull trends and these large bear trends. In fact, if we're looking at this on the 3-day or even let's say the monthly, this has only ever been a bull market with rise, retrace, continuation along the way. So we need to be aware that we are not only in a bull trend on the macro, but now absolutely in this bull trend on, I don't want to say the micro, but on the smaller time frame. So we got to talk about this move. We're still holding about $57,000. We see, let me move this over to altcoins 2024 alts. There we go. Here's my actual charts that we have drawn up. Let's get out to the daily and just take a little gander at what's going on here. We've broken out of this, all these rising channels that we've had pushed up into this zone. We have a bull flag target up here at 64,000. Ethereum breaking out of this rising channel here and pushing up right against this resistance where all these this price action had rejected before. And so we got a lot of stuff. I mean, we're $3,200, $3,242. And this is where we got in on this move right here, this green bar. We also see Cardano making some moves. This is where, I mean, yes, that's right. This is where we got in. This is not facetious. We got in right here, and I shared it with you guys in the BitLab Discord. But we have this rising, broadening wedge. We got to talk about this in terms of, is this going to have a move that's going to shake some people out to the downside while the rest of the market is ripping so hard to the upside? We just had 152 people plop in here. So if this is your first time here, welcome to the show. My name is Kelly Kellum. I hope you're all having a good day. I hope you're feeling grateful. If you're not, hope I can inspire you to identify something in your life that you're grateful for so we can enter these charts with the right frame of mind. Now, if you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. Let's get the likes up. Let's get 40 more likes, and we're going to jump into these charts. I love you guys. I appreciate you all, guys and gals. Let's talk about these charts. Now, AVAX. Man, we were talking about this last week. Oh, man, look at all this. We gotta clear out this chart. But looking at what's going on here in Avalanche, we have a little bit of a concern here with the fact that we had this lower low here on this move, this pullback, and a lower high. This is a little concerning, but if the rest of the market rips, I'm confident that this will likely continue pushing higher as well, unless we get something else. Now, we also see here on the daily chart, we have negative money flow, but if we come down here to the 8 hour, we can see that this has flipped positive. So the trends are starting to shift into favor of the bulls on this medium time frame. And we can see that Avalanche not so long ago is down here at $8. I mean, that is not a small move. That's a 470% move back here in October to where this peak was on this recent move. This is a pretty big things. And I would argue with you all, not argue, I would suggest, based on what I've seen in previous cycles, we haven't seen anything yet. We also see Link pushing up, making its way out of this long-term channel here, breaking up, you know, inverse head and shoulders here, giving us that signal, pushing up beyond this level and just rocketing through this other previous range here and just consolidating up in this range. Now, why? We always need to look left on the chart. When we look left on the chart, we see that there's a lot of support here, support here, support here, support here, support here. Rejection right at the bottom of this. This defined what this range was, and this is exactly where we're having a little bit of trouble. Now, Link has pulled back. This does not scare me. This gives me confidence because it means I've had opportunity to get in without this running away from me yet. Any of you out there, if you hold Link, let me know in the chat right now. Drop a comment down below if you're a Link holder. Shout out to Alex Green for the 5 gifted memberships. Big love to you. Let me actually pull this up really quick while we are sitting here. I'm going to look to see if we finally have enough of those new members to add the new emoji. Let's go ahead and see this. We're going to jump right into some TA, and I have some really great signals that I broke down yesterday in a video. And if you all have not, if you have not watched that video, I highly recommend you watching that video. And this video that I'm talking about, let's come back over to the chart, is right here. Come over to BitLab Academy's YouTube page. And by the way, if you're watching anywhere else, make sure you come to youtube.com/@BitLab Academy. You see right here, this video right here, I posted a tweet about this as well. And if we scroll down to this tweet, we are doing a $50 giveaway. If you share this tweet, watch the video, but share this tweet, I'll be drawing a winner on Friday to get $50. Did you retweet this to win? You'll be entered to win. I just don't want to type all those words. There you go. And watch through this. This is a 10-minute video, very quick, but I break down some of the signals that are showing why this move has really happened, but also some reasons why it's different this time. It really is. It doesn't mean we can't have a pullback, but there's a different context right now driving this buying power in the market. And what's the most telling thing is the fact that we've had a lack of sellers in the market. We've had a lot of lack of rotation into pre-halving retail entering, thus leaving the market even as high as it feels. Let me say this again. Even though the market has been pushing up and the price feels so astronomically high, remember, $1,000 Bitcoin used to feel really high. 10,000 felt astronomical. 20,000 blew our minds. 60 and then 70. And now we've had that massive bear trend that took us all the way down to 15,500, and we're back up to $57,000. We blasted past that golden pocket 618, which we've never done pre-halving before, and we're not seeing any signs of weakness. In fact, we're seeing nearly no new retail enter right now, and yet the price is just running away. Will we get that pre-halving pullback? It's looking right now like we don't have the context yet. We don't have the over frothiness to get that reset. It doesn't mean it can't happen. It's just showing right now how astronomically strong the bullishness is in this market. So I've been stacking. What have you been doing? Are you prepared to ride this? Or are you still waiting on those prices below $20,000? I don't think we're getting those again. The market's running away. The data is showing strength has entered the market, and it doesn't look like it's leaving anytime soon. That's how I'm feeling right now. What about you? Comment down below how you're feeling about the market right now. Do you think we're going to get a drop beyond another 20% drop? We've only had 20% drop so far in this bull cycle since January of last year. And yet everybody wants that 40, 50% pullback. Maybe it never comes, but I'm prepared either way. Now, on that note, let's go ahead and talk about some of the things, the context, and then we're going to dive into these charts. Now, coming into the market right here, I just want to point out, Caleb Franzen had identified this a while back when the charts were over here and then re-uploaded this. But when we're looking at what's going on with the price action, when we're looking at what's going on with the price action, we want to identify key horizontal levels of where price has had a lot of trouble, which is these resistance points. And when the price is able to break through that, we want to have that signal of a confirmation of the move, which means this works on identifying trends as well as identifying great entry points for a trade. And this is exemplified perfectly. We have the break of this zone, and this is the total too. This is all the altcoins. This is essentially everything in the market minus Bitcoin. So we're looking at all the altcoins out there, ETH and all those altcoins that we want to make us hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. This aggregate index of all these coins shows that we broke out of this, had some profit taking, and we wanted to see where the bulls came in. They came in right at this previous range high, right where this box identifies, and bounced strongly from here. This was giving us a clue of an opportunity if it were to play out, and it's exactly what played out. So the markets have been doing healthy things. Even though it feels like markets are just booming to the upside, we are getting some work done on this where we are pushing higher, coming back and exploring the lower range of the, basically pushing up and seeing where the buyers coming in, and the buyers are coming in more bullish and more bullish each time. So the strength of the trend right now is incredible. Now, looking at, can we go higher? Well, from TechDev, one of my favorite analysts in the space, he shared this tweet right here. And this shows the 2-month chart with Bollinger Bands. Okay. And so the BBW, this is when this is coming very low, this means that Bollinger Bands are very tight. When this goes very high, this means we have a lot of expansion. And what we're seeing here, looking at the macro picture of Bitcoin, this does not say that we cannot have a drop. What this is saying is this move hasn't even started yet. Do you understand this? We had a $6,500 move yesterday, over $6,500 move. That was previously an all-time high on this market. And yet we moved $6,500 and it only represented 12% of the value of Bitcoin in US dollars. And this is saying right here, you ain't seen nothing yet. So as these Bollinger Bands have constricted, essentially outlining when we have a lot of volatility, they're wide, and when we have a sort of consolidative sort of property, when the volatility diminishes, these constrict. And what we do is we get an oscillation like we do with anything in the crypto market, with any asset. When you have a lot of volatility, it constricts to a lot of consolidation, and then you get expansion back into volatility. So look at this. We are constricted down into consolidation, even with this big move that we've had in the past 6 months. So this is 2 months, 2 months, 2 months, right? And so what we're seeing is that we are setting up for the actual explosive move to come. Now, doesn't that blow your mind that we've moved up in the last 6 months? Let's see what that would have been on the chart. So 6 months would be monthly. Now let's go zoom out right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this would be from there to there. This is press shift, click on the chart. That is 127% move. And the Bollinger Bands are telling us you ain't seen nothing yet. I mean, I could not be more excited about how prepared every one of you have been getting over the last year and a half, 2, 3 years, especially after the cascading failures of 2022. And yet we are here, we are grinding, we are ahead of the institutions, and we're ahead of the retail of the world entering. And I got so much more goodness to share with you, so stick around because we're going to be diving into some TA in a bit, but you're going to love these juicy nuggets of bullishness that I'm going to be sharing right now. So let's get it. So right here, soon, we have currently 746,000. Yes, that's right. 746,000 Bitcoin are held in ETFs. Now we could subtract out the grayscale because that was converted from a trust, but BlackRock has 132,000. Fidelity, nearly 100,000. ARK has over 30,000. Bitwise, over 20,000. Invesco. So, I mean, this is incredible. And what's interesting about this is the registered income advisors. I have a little typo here. This is supposed to be RIA. Those income advisors around the world, especially here in the US, they haven't even started suggesting this product to their clients yet. The majority of this money that we're seeing in these ETFs is large in part, and we don't know what the data is yet, is going to be institutions. It's going to be corporations. It's going to be big money. It's going to be some sovereign wealth funds. These people are trying to load up, and we're not seeing based on a lot of policies and a lot of these different organizations, they don't start recommending a new financial product until typically about 90 days or more it takes for them to watch the ETF launch, see how it does in terms of the performance, and then also then get the approval to, one, they'd be learning about it, but then actually start pushing it out to their clients. And make no lie in your mind, they're going to be financially incentivized to do that. They make money on getting people to purchase different financial products or get allocations into a new financial product. And this is a hot thing, not only on the street, but on Wall Street, but on the world right now, because of the lack of trust people have with banks, with governments, with everything. And even if they didn't trust Bitcoin before last year, before Larry Fink's gone on this press tour, they're starting to see not only, okay, they did the diligence, best asset managers in the world, Fidelity and BlackRock, and all of these ETFs. It must be something that, they see the gains since launch, and they see the gains of everything else. We are about to see a flood. It feels like we're worried that we're going to get some sort of dip, and we may, in terms of this volume flow that we're seeing on these ETFs. But the fact that this is not even being pushed out yet by the RIAs, the income advisors, is incredible. So I right here, I marked myself safe by being in before institutions in retail. I'm wondering, out of everybody watching right now, did you get in post January 10th? Or how many of you, if you were in before January 10th, even if it was 0.001 Bitcoin or 0.001 any asset in the crypto space, throw a thumbs up in the live chat right now. Let's all celebrate each other's win. We did it. We took the chance, and the institutions finally came around and said, oh, damn, you guys were onto something. And yes, aren't we onto something big? Now let's continue on here. We got some great charts to show. So are you feeling golden yet? And essentially what this was about is this chart right here, magic chart, Milky Bull, at Milky Bull Crypto. This is RSI. This is the monthly chart for Bitcoin. Things feel bullish right now. They feel so bullish, we can't help but be skeptical. Things feel so bullish, we're like, it's got to retrace, and maybe it will. Typically in bull trends, you have rise, retrace, continuation. We've only had 20% correction so far in this cycle. But the thing is, when we're looking at this on the monthly, the RSI has gone above 70. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you don't look at historical data. Then we look at all previous cycles. Once we cross 70, let's look at the price action. Up. Price action. Start of the parabola. Up. Right here. Start of the mega move right there on this cycle. Up. We're just crossing now. Now, we may reject somewhere in this area and have a pullback down to 46 or 38 or something. But when you look at this macro picture, it gives me confidence that what's coming is not a large failure. What's coming next, whether it be a small time frame shakeout, with 15 to 30%, something in that regard, or a mega move, this is telling me that the market is very strong and we're only seeing the capital flows into the space increase. This is giving me confidence in this space right now. And so, guys, I can't tell you how bullish this is what I just said a little bit ago. And I just want to point out, this is about the $6,500 move. Remember, $6,500 used to be, once we hit it the first time, people were like, oh, there's no way it can go higher. And then it hit 10,000. There's no way it's going to hit 20. Then it hit 20. And it pulled back. Bitcoin died. Bitcoin died, went from 20,000 to 3,500. But then it went from 3,500 to 69,000. Every time it's crashed or had large pullbacks in a bull market, the low is always significantly higher than the previous low. But this is interesting that we had a $6,500 move. And the reason why I pointed this out is the fact that we really have no concept of the price, right? Because we try to weigh it against this stock or Apple or Nvidia or name it. Bitcoin, it should not be compared to any of the other assets out there or any other monetary system because it shares attributes with all of them. And yet it's its own independent thing, and it has a limited supply. We really have no concept to weigh the price against since this is such a unique, scarce, trustless, immutable asset. We need to remember that. Let that sink in. The paradigm is shifting in front of our eyes. Now we're going to be jumping into TA here in just a moment. So while I'm going through these last few charts very quickly, I want to see you guys, every one of you, spam the chat right now. The 2 coins you most want to see some TA on, throw them in the chat. You can comment down below as well if you're watching later. I'll try to scroll through those and see if I can get some content around the ones that all of you are most interested in. So you don't need to post it 7 times. Everybody can just spam once, but I want to see what you guys are looking at right now. What hasn't moved? What's your biggest mover? Let me know in the chat. And by the way, if you haven't yet, you're watching this, you're part of the family, whether or not you know it. You need to look down below this video, hit the subscribe button, and join us. Join us. This is the most positive, productive, educational community we have out here in the crypto world. And I try to make sure you all start with a good headspace, a good heart space, so we can come into the market and operate without fear and hope and greed. We operate based on the data and the tools that I share with you here to make sure we can navigate this space. So, oh yeah, I'm seeing some Gala. We got XERS. I don't even know what that is. 1inch, DYDX, Quant, Polygon, Tia, Render, Ronin. All right, man, you guys are clued in. I love it. Now, we talked about this. You guys have seen this on all the other channels as well. We basically had a record volume yesterday on these ETFs. Now, next chart right here, this is one of those things, and I go into more detail on this on the BitLab Academy post I did yesterday. It's right here. If you go to the @Academy BitLab, and I shared it, I'm going to pin this. I'm going to pin this in the top of the live chat. Everybody go and watch this. It's on the @Academy BitLab Twitter page. But if you retweet this, you're entered to win $50. But watch this. It talks not just about price. You get a little bit of insight into how to look at a market, not just what's going on with price, but what is influencing the price, so you can make better judgments about what you want to do. I'm going to do Bulls Signals video. I'm going to pin this in the top of the chat so you guys can see it, and it's on there. Now, let's get back over to it. All right, right here. We have a different context here entirely than we did pre-halving over here. This is showing a rotation of some people taking profits on the way up, and basically the reason I know that is because we have the short-term holder supply rises, meaning a coin that was held for a long period of time was sold and was new. So you have an increase in the amount of coins that are in circulation that are recently traded, aka people are, basically new coins are purchased, or coins are purchased on this way up, meaning there's a rotation out of that long-term holder supply. So we're seeing each one of these rises here correspond with pretty big hiccup in price there, and then sideways. We had this large push up and then about 45% drop there. Right here, we had the 35% move up to 14,000. Look how high this rose. People took profits on the way up, and we see this move down. Look at where we're at right now on the short-term holder supply. We just had a record low, and currently right now with this, even this pushing up, we're barely at the previous range lows of short-term holder supply. Retail has not entered yet. This is what we need to realize. We are still before even though it feels like the market's all running away right now, we're still before retail has started to enter. I have every cycle previously when we start getting big run-ups, and I'm sure all of you have felt this before as well, you start getting messages from people, okay? You start getting let me say this. Every previous cycle, as the price starts exploding, I start getting messages from people, mothers, neighbors, aunts, friends. I see people walking down the street and overhear them talking about Bitcoin or Dogecoin or Pepe, but crypto is the topic of conversation. In getting in a taxi cab, people, hey man, you hear about that Doge? When we start getting that, we know that things are starting to get a little bit frothy. But what we're seeing right now with the price just breaking over 50, over 55, over 57, on its way to 60, and soon the new all-time highs. Even as far as Bitcoin in the crypto market has exploded in the recent months, I still haven't gotten one text message from people that are on the periphery. This market has not yet moved, and we can see on this chart right here, this short-term holder supply is still so low. It's not like previous cycles. This has not pushed up, giving us an indication things are frothy and we're going to get a sell-off. So it very well stands to reason we may have an opportunity for this cycle to truly be different and break all the way near or past all-time highs without having some major correction around the halving. Maybe we get a post-halving correction. Either way, I am practicing my risk management. I'm making sure that I'm staying on the right side of these trades, but if you're not bullish, I don't know what to tell you. And if you want to know more, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe and join us. Follow for more of this content because we do it on a daily basis. Now, we got to continue talking about these charts because there's a lot going on right now. Now, coming over to, I think I got two more things. We got to pay attention about whenever this Coinbase SEC case finally wraps up. This could be a large catalyst, either bullish or bearish on the market in the coming days or months whenever this finally wraps. So let's just note that. Now, before we go any further, let me go ahead and pull this up really quick. I want to share something with you guys. We do have a new partner of the channel, and that is Cryptonomy. And this is I got to move off of this really quick. Hold on one second. I got to log in because I really love this service because let me go ahead and pull this up. Thought I was logged in there. My bad. All right. Okay, so here we go. So we do have a new partner of the channel, and that is Cryptonomy. And I utilize this, many people utilize this as a way to basically get opportunities to not only stake and have huge rewards on many different altcoins. You can see Bitcoin, Ethereum, ETH Classic, BNB, I mean, there's a lot of coins you can stake and earn staking rewards on this, but it also gives you access to different airdrops. It gives you access to essentially new projects that they have in their basically Web3 funding pools that they're doing. You can earn up to 170% APY on fixed staking, meaning you're for a fixed period of time. You can earn up to 97% APY on flexible, meaning you can pull it out anytime. And you can earn up to 100x with Cryptonomy Launchpool. And they're investing in incredible Web3 and blockchain projects out there. And you get basically early access to all those while also being able to stake and earn APY. And I know right now, I've shown you the altcoin portfolio I've been stacking into. My goal with that, especially with where we're at in this market cycle, is to hold for the next 12 to 18 to 20 months or so. And while I'm holding that, why not also stake some of those coins to earn rewards on them and basically compound the amount of capital I have in this market? And so I have Bitcoin in here, Ethereum, Cardano, HBAR, some Polygon, and they have a lot of support with all this. Great company. Check it out. The link is down below in the description, directly above. If you do more, directly above, directly below, it's one of the first lines. There's a bunch more information there. Sign up with us and get involved in staking and taking care of earning some rewards along the way while you're holding before the bull market top comes in. So with that being said, thank you to Cryptonomy.finance. Check that out. Now, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about what's going on with, let's see, where's Bitcoin? There we go, boom. Time to jump into these charts. Time to talk about it. Time to talk about what's going on in these markets because we talked about all the context. It feels incredibly bullish. It feels out of this world. But are there any signs in the charts that are suggesting a little bit of a pullback? Let's go ahead and zoom in to a little bit smaller time frame and talk about it because we did just have an explosion higher. We had this large bull flag here, consolidation within this flag formation here, and we did break to the upside. We also had the money flow here on the 2-hour flip positive right here, option V. This is where, boom, it starts to flip positive, and we see the stochastics are reset. We see the momentum waves coming up into this. We had plenty of signals, and in fact, if we come over here to the Discord, I shared this in the VIP charts right here. I broke this down specifically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want to talk about the stoplight action protocol, AKA we want to find a setup, a confirmation, a support of that confirmation, and a trigger. In this case, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had the REV signal on the BitLab trading stack right here that printed before the move. We also have the price broke above the VWAP. When you're above the VWAP, you start to shift the trend from being bearish and uncertain to, when you break above it, more bullish. And we had the signal and also the price action confirming that. And then the RSI and stochastics led the move up. So these were moving up before this happened. Now we also have the momentum quick rebound towards zero, meaning this is rounding out like this. And they're very green bars suggesting that there was a lot of buying pressure underneath this momentum shift. So there's buying pressure coming in before this move. And we can see the volume spike, and the volume started to spike 1 or 2 candles before this moved up. So we had full confirmation of this. And then finally, the sixth, which I did not include on here, is the fact that the price action broke beyond this bull flag resistance line that we have here. So we had the full setup, and then your trigger could have been a break of this zone right here. And the price action just went completely bonkers after that. In fact, let's go ahead and take this off right here. In fact, this is pushing up, and this is starting to look a little concerning, but things can get irrational right now. And we saw a huge number of liquidations over the last 24 hours, 36 hours, because of this move to the upside and that large amount of liquidation zone that was up here. And I'd said yesterday, if we break through this 53, basically this previous range high right in here, about $52,800, $53,000, things will likely continue moving up very quickly. And we see, boom, this pushed up, and this just continued moving relatively quickly all the way up another, I mean, that's another 8%, almost 9% following breaking this range high, also breaking out full confirmation of this bull flag to the upside. Now the target on this is all the way up. If we go out to 6 hours, the target on this, you want to take from right here, option T from that to that base to the top of the flag there. And we see the target goes right up here to $64,000. Now, when you are looking at this, some people take a trade and then they expect it to go directly to the target. Like it's just going to keep going there. You see these moves along the way are likely going to happen. And there's a lot of things on the horizon right now that could shake a little confidence, especially if we start seeing a huge amount of open interest forming in the market, especially if it's a lot of longs that are entering that provide opportunity to reverse the price and take that free liquidity. As it stands right now, we do see that the stochastics have flattened out. The RSI is flattened out. It got up here into, I'm looking at the percentage here on the right. The RSI got up to about 91%. So things did get a little bit hot. Now, if this momentum wave does start to roll over, which it looks like it likely will, if this does not start to continue quickly, then we're going to have a pretty big bearish divergence from right here, option V, to wherever that is. Let's say it's right there, because we see this is very high and this momentum wave is nowhere near as high over here. If we do get a bearish divergence on the momentum wave, it could suggest that we could have either a cooling off period, sideways chop, or I hate to bring this up, and I'm not even calling for a pullback. I wouldn't even consider this a pullback. We could have an opportunity where the price action does push up like this. We chop sideways, and then we have that quick move back down, forming that Bart Simpson pattern, because this is an inefficient move. This is a very quick move, largely in a large case formed by a lot of the closing of the short positions on the quick move up to the upside. So that being said, there's likely going to be at some level a move down, whether it's here, down here, or all the way a very quick flush out back down to test these previous range highs. Now I'm watching out for that, and I'm not going to be scared by it because I know it's a possibility. Now that would represent 7% move if that were to happen. Now, where I start to get concerned is if this breaks down and we lose this line here at really this sort of range here. If we drop below this 51.3 sort of zone, which is this rising level of support, if we lose this level, then I do think the next stop is going to be down here at this 46 to 48K range, which is essentially, let's call it 47,000 if this were to come straight down into this zone. But I'm only pointing this out, not because I think it's going to go there. Now I'm saying if the price action comes down and loses this level, this is on my radar. I'm very bullish right now because of how the market has been moving. So I'm talking about this bearishness so we can have the risk management in mind before we throw the farm at a trade for it to reverse on us. Now, if we get down here into the 1 hour time frame, we also have to note that we've had a massive decline in volume. So the best case scenario right now is not a continuation. Now, why is that? A continuation that just moves very quickly from here is going to provide a larger opportunity for price to move back down to especially essentially explore this inefficiency in the market. What the best move would be right here is for this to come up and have a little bit of chop in the zone, a consolidation sideways, maybe a little bit of a test down, and then move to the upside. Because this was very quick, we need to test some buying and selling and where the bulls are willing to defend. And this would give something that we talk about here often, and that is having the strength of a healthy trend, which is a rise, either consolidation or retrace continuation. Retrace, maybe come back down. We want to see these stairs be built. If we zoom out on this chart, we can see the bull market has been building stairs for the last over a year. So since November into the December, beginning of January is when we exploded. Stair, stair, stair. Oh, grandma hurt her ankle. Come back down one stair. But we did not lose it. We did not come back down the stairs. And then because of this bearish attempt and the defending of the bulls at this price level and the ETFs that came in, we got a larger move up after this. Look at this. Now we got the stair. So on this move right here, we got to see what the conviction of the bulls is. And when the bears do take their shot, if the bulls do start taking some profits, we want to see where the bulls come in. Now, I'm very bullish again, I said, but I'm aware of anything that can happen in this market. But let's go ahead and go on to a couple of these other coins. Now, I want to come over here. We got 202 people in the room. I want every single one of you to ask yourself, what is your goal this market cycle? What is your exit? Do you already have exit strategies outlined? What's your mechanism going to be to get out of the market or rotate profits from one asset sector into another, whether it's your altcoins into Bitcoin or maybe all the way out into stable coins? Are you pulling a third out to buy that house you want or to buy the ring for your wife or girlfriend or husband? If you don't have your goals outlined now, you are going to be prey to your emotions later, and you're going to end up with less than you could have had, because failure to plan is planning to fail. We want to make sure that we can harvest everything possible out of this market and not let this market harvest out of us. That's what this is about. So let's go ahead and look back at this. I just had to tune you all into that real quick. Now, okay, Fetch AI, large broadening wedge. We had this head and shoulders here, and then the breakdown. In fact, this was a textbook sort of example here. This would go to the neckline and then the target. So what I'm doing here is this shoulder, head, shoulder. I took a measurement from the top of this head to this neckline. As you can see, like this. This actually would go a little bit shorter, just about like this. This was telling us before this breakdown that the target was this right here. Let's see what that, and let's see where the price went. It went pretty close to the target. And I want you to realize this about targets and patterns on your charts. Do not see a pattern on a chart, set a target, and then set your entries or exits at the target. Why? Because you're not the only one that's out there looking at these targets. And much like we see right here, the price action, even though it broke down very near, that's only 1.5 cents away. Let's see. Yeah, 1.3 cents away. But if you had this and you needed this trade to work, let's be honest, we need all our trades to work. But if you took a short here, or you're looking for an entry, either or, if this comes down and it misses it by 1 cent, and now you end up getting liquidated on your short, or you miss the opportunity to get on this at a better price. When you see a target on a pattern on any asset, look at that target and front run it in some way. But also, I would argue, and we've talked about this a lot, identifying a couple different exit points so you can harvest out 30 or 40% of your entry or your exit, and then have your final determining sort of zone that you want to basically fully stock that trade, whether it's an open or a close of a position. Now, where we're at right now, this is a little concerning because we did break down, but the fact that the price action did rebound back up, and it came all the way up here, and now we get this. What did we talk about the other day? I've talked about it here a lot. Look at the angle of attack here. Now look at this next angle of attack, and it's much smaller. Now look at this next angle of attack, much smaller. And now we have a new low, and this is a little bit more sideways. And I mean, this high, I won't call it a lower high, but it's starting to show a weakening of this asset. And I think we're going to see this a lot in the AI market niche right now, because a lot of that huge pump we just got was tied to narratives outside of this specific asset, the Sora launch, OpenAI, and NVIDIA doing so well, and NVIDIA being graphics processing capabilities and software that is going to be large in part tied to with a lot of the AI development, right? So this is, okay, it pumped on that news, and now it's kind of rolling over a bit. It doesn't mean it has to break down, but I'm watching this zone right here. This zone right here, that if we do lose this, I expect we'll likely be testing back down into the zone of this previous marker, sort of. Oops, let me get down to the right here. This sort of zone here, and then potentially even lower. Now let's do a Fibonacci, option F, to the top. Now let's delete this other. So are we going to see a 90 cent? A 90 cent? This is a golden pocket if we come down here, because look, we do have the lower low, lower high. This, for me, has been one of my signals to really identify opportunities for price action, to capture price action lower. Now we also see negative money flow here on the 1 hour, and a lot of bearishness on this. What does it look like on the 4 hour? Okay, lower. Look at this. Momentum waves are getting smaller. Stochastics pushed up. They're kind of working their way down. Money flow is kind of trickling down. Now there's one caveat with all this. The technical signals on this asset are suggesting a pullback. We may or may not get it, because how quick the narrative is going with AI, we may have another big news story that pumps the entire AI market in the coming days or hours, but it may not. So I'm not trading on the speculation, and this is why I'm not shorting this asset. If it does move lower, I'm looking at finding another entry. Now, if we come over to Quant had this sort of triangle that it was working between, had a deviation below, push up, rejection, support, and we did break out of this. I'm wondering if a little bit of the pressure has gotten off, the constraints have gotten off Quant, if this is going to start moving. This is trickling, it's staying positive, it's trying to go negative money flow, it comes back positive, but we also have a bearish divergence right here. If you see this high here, is also the high here on the stochastics, and this is stochastics, this is RSI. And now we have a lower high on the RSI, and we have a lower high on the stochastics. And we have the money flow, sorry, the momentum wave, these white bars. Momentum wave got the triangle, meaning see these starting to roll over. And so the fact that we have a bearish divergence leading into this move and the momentum is rolling over, we want to see where this can find support. It looked like it kind of bounced here. If this does push up and come back down, I'd be very concerned with thinking the bull narrative is going to play out in the near future, meaning in the next coming days. So I'm a little hesitant on this. I'm happy that it did break out of this, but this may be nothing. It may end up trading sideways. So let's keep our eyes on this. GRT was looking a little weak too. We have GRT, massive move. This is our entry here. And we're up almost 100% at that peak level. Currently about 83%. Now this is a little concerning. Same thing as we were talking about with Fetch AI, except this is a little different because it's not just AI. It's indexing of all the data on blockchains. Basically, they're trying to be, or attempting, or the utility is very similar to like the Google of blockchains, which is going to be important. But we have a rising wedge here, and rising wedges tend to break to the downside. It doesn't mean it's going to reverse fully back down, but it does suggest we may have a move to test the bulls somewhere lower, which means you may have another opportunity to buy lower. SEI had this large move up from our entry right here and a little bit of a retrace, but we have this W formation right now, which is interesting. These charts a lot of these altcoin charts are looking very different from each other. We have this W formation, and look at this, the break of the W formation. And remember what we were talking about right over here, a break of a zone, come back, retest, and then launch. Well, when we come back over to this chart right here, we have this break of this zone, W double bottom right here, and we are attempting to bounce on this. Maybe there's a move coming here, but I'm asking if it's going to happen. I don't just look at the price and the patterns. I see this to get the layout of the land. Then I look down here, the money flow flipped negative on the 4-hour chart right here. But as it stands right now, the money flow is not yet flipped positive, and we have bearish divergence here on the stochastics. But this is mixed signals as it could be. Lower highs on the stochastics, but the RSI actually did push up, and it does look like we're finding a little bit of support, right? This purple line coming down, finding support here. So what I'd really like to see to give me confidence on this is this continuing to move towards this 0 line. But as it stands right now, this is setting up for potentially a move to the upside. And currently on this 4-hour chart, we have 2 hours left. We do have a potential reversal candle. So there are things, there's mixed signals going on in the market right now. And part of the reason why that is because Bitcoin is stealing the show. Bitcoin's stealing the show. We also see this if we come over here to the Bitcoin. If I go to BTC.D, you can see the Bitcoin dominance. Let's go to the 12-hour. The Bitcoin dominance is going up. This means Bitcoin is taking some of the capital focus in the market right now. Now, this isn't a bad thing. This means we might be setting up for moves to take very soon for those altcoins, for the altcoin market when it starts to move to the upside. Because when this potentially rejects, and we're coming into a level it's rejected on a lot, and this may break also. And by the way, this is not just, look at this, it's not just these 3 bars. Let's go out to the macro here. Let's go ahead and come right up here, boom, option T, all the way down. You can see that this is coming into a zone that is rejected on many, many times. But we also have a new context in the market with the ETFs and so much focus on everything going on with all the capital flow there. Bitcoin there's a possibility that Bitcoin outperforms the alt market. Not every single alt, but we have to be aware of that. But as it stands right now, I do think there's a high likelihood that Bitcoin will, once it really starts moving, we'll see a little bit of a capital flow out of Bitcoin. I expect that if this does push up, it will reject somewhere in here. And if this does push down, remember, this is the dominance chart. If this does reject and start moving to the downside, that would represent the altcoins performing better. Now, Cardano has this, we talked about it before, this large move to the upside, rise, retrace, continuation. But we have, look at this low, and we followed by a lower high. So if we cannot start making a move on this, we may be chopping around in the zone, maybe even testing back at this entry down here at 48. But as this is more of a broader view, I am leaning more bullish on this because we did bounce on this level and come back up. Now we have a large W formation right in here. And so if the price action does come down and test down here to 60 cents, another cent and a half down or so, and bounce here, then this is showing it explored the top side of this range, explored the bottom side of this range twice. And if this broke out of this and comes back and the bulls come in defending a higher low somewhere in this region, then the next move is going to be likely very good. Render. I'm trying to go through a bunch of the ones I saw you guys post in the chat. Render, strong move up. This was our entry over here, back here February 7th. Push up, bounced. So rise, retrace, continuation, retrace, continuation, retrace, continuation. This is those stairs we're talking about. But we have to also note that this has formed a little bit of a parabola, right? So there's increasing momentum. With that being said, Render's looking actually fairly good because we have this bull flag right here, and you could argue where you want to drag the flagpole from. So what I'm going to look at this, I'm going to be a little more conservative. I'm going to look at this as a symmetrical triangle and take a measurement from the top of this to the bottom of this and take this out like this. And this target would be up here at about 881, sorry, which would represent an astronomically large move. Now that would be basically about a 20% move from the breakout. If we do it from essentially about where we're at right now, that would represent about a 22, 23% move. Now remember, Render is one of those assets. We have to remember how the different things in this market are tied together and the correlations they have. Render, some people still think is a gaming project, and they think it's going to be something that may be tied to with all that and graphics processing, etc. But this AI play also, I think very much in large part will also be tied in with the AI narrative with Render. because these models, these AI models, language models, and coding models, and predictive models, and all this stuff that AI is attempting to really create utility within these different niches, the AI itself has to be created somewhere on computer systems, in large in part GPU processing. And Render has very strong ties. The founder of Render has very strong ties with the CEO of NVIDIA. So not only is it tied in with the AI narrative, but also with the CEO of NVIDIA, which is that whole graphics processing narrative that's also tied in with, the way computing is done the world over is changing as these computer systems grow, and the need for decentralization with all this is growing as well. So I think Render is going to be an absolute strong performer in this next bull market. Now, with that being said, I hope I see you all in the Discord. I'm going to be sharing some stuff in there today. Make sure you head over to check out our illustrious and wonderful bitlabacademy.com, which you can see right here. We have courses. We have all the stuff you need to understand what's going on in this market. And of course, we have the premium Discord here with so much alpha that we've been sharing in here. I'm updating you on what moves I'm making in my portfolio. We got chart requests. We got scalp trades and breakdowns, as well as, all the things you could really want to really nail it in this market cycle. We got the community to help get you there. I love you guys, each and every one of you. Make sure you go over to the BitLab Academy Twitter page right here at Academy BitLab. If you retweet this tweet and like it, and please go and watch the video. It clues you in why this time might be different and how we can really dominate it in this cycle. It's a 10-minute video. I'd love it if you watch it, but retweet this. You'll be entered to win $50. We are drawing on Friday. I got to do a giveaway right now. Let's do a giveaway. There are some people that were leaving because they're impatient. You know what? All of you that are still here, hit that like button, subscribe, because you just had to listen to me ramble on. But let's do a giveaway from last week. From last week. Let me go ahead and, which one was it? I have to pull from, let's see, what is today? Okay, so this was yesterday, Monday. I believe it was, what day was it? Alexander G, do you remember which day I said today's date? If you share this one, you're going to get it's going to be one that has the most. 10, 7, 13. I think it was this one right here. 16. What's the 22nd? Yeah, it was that Thursday. It was. So it's right here, copy link. Now come over here into, let's go ahead and, I'm about to give away $50 cash. It's gonna be USDT. Okay, so we're logged in. Let's go ahead and do the giveaway. Let's comment picker. It's right here. Alrighty, log in with Twitter. All these steps you got to take to do anything on this damn internet these days. How many of you guys are tired of doing CAPTCHAs? Let's be honest. CAPTCHAs, just absolutely, I hate them. All right, link to your tweet. Boom. Twitter must do and get Twitter data. It's going to be $50 USDT. And 14, let's go ahead and start it. Boom. Let's see who won. Son of a Newberman. You win $50 USDT. Send me a message on Twitter and also get in the BitLab Discord so you can claim it. The link is down below in the description. It's also, I think it's, if Alexander G, if you could share that on share the BitLab link in the comments right there. But get in touch with me, and I'll hit you on Twitter as well, son of a Newberman, and I will let you know. Thank you guys. And again, if you want to participate and all these posts that I put out on a daily basis with different content, if you like and retweet, Sometimes I randomly draw from them. I give 3-month memberships. I've given away $100. I've given away crypto. I've given away lifetime memberships. You never know what it's going to be. So I just love the support of the community because we are doing this. I'm trying to create a warm environment of tools, resources, knowledge, and community so we can dominate it in this space. And with that being said, I love you guys. I appreciate you. And again, thank you again very much to Cryptonomy.finance. We appreciate having you guys as a partner. And I'm already loving using this platform that you guys have put together and the access to staking as well as all the different Launchpool tools. So I appreciate you all. I hope you have a wonderful day. It is Tuesday. Let's ride this market up. Let's go. Adios, muchachos. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe. Join us. We'll see you in the Discord where we're dropping all that alpha, trade signals, and more. I love you guys. Hope you have a wonderful day. Adios.